Welcome to Shreya TV. In this video, I'm going to talk about how important it is to not wear a mask when you want to create a good impression on someone. So stay tuned. If you're a new subscriber, thank you so much. Welcome to Shreya TV. If you get time after this video, please check out some of the other videos I've made. If you are returning to my channel, I love to see you each time you come in, and you know that. So thank you. But before I begin, I want you to do the ritual. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that whenever I upload a video, you get a notification. And if you really like the video towards the end, do hit a thumbs up. I like it. I need to be motivated. Actually, the question should be reframed to what not to do in order to create a good impression, because that's going to be easier for me to answer. I maintain that if we want to create impressions, we should really focus on, oh, I want to create a lasting impression. It should be, what is it that I'm most comfortable doing and something that I can sustain even in the uncomfortable moments. I think that should be the focus, because that's how you're going to get real with the world. I don't want to share the regular best practices of being neat and clean, turning out well, shaking hands, which I don't think is going to happen for a very long time now, but still maintaining the general etiquette. All of that is something I think you know. But I want to talk about some other small things, the small stuff that really takes us a long way. And sometimes things need to be avoided in order to create a good impression. And here they are. Hey, so what are some of your interests? I like reading. Ah, interesting. What kind of reading? I like fiction. I like non-fiction. Yeah. So are you reading something in non-fiction these days? Yeah. I mean, I don't get as much time these days to read, but yeah, I read Rising Strong by Brené Brown. What? You read that book? I read that book myself. So what are the best things you liked in that book? Number one, do not fake your interests. Interests can be seen, they can be observed. People can figure that out within seconds of interacting with us. So when we are faking, we can't really sustain, and everybody will get to know. So instead, the better thing to create a good impression is to talk about things that you genuinely enjoy doing, because the sparkle in the eye and the delight that will come on your face automatically is unmatchable. So don't think your stuff is small or your interests are not good enough to be spoken about. At the end of the day, they are your interests. So find a way to speak about them. But I've seen people always, kind of do things, create stuff, bake, make, talk about things that don't come naturally to them. But because the masses or the popular folks are doing them out there, they just force themselves into doing those things. And it's not enjoyable at all. So bring life into yourself by pursuing interests that come naturally to you, rather than interests that are borrowed from somebody else and you don't like them. So no. So I'm glad you called me to your office, and I talk about executive presence, so I think your team is going to benefit a lot by taking up my training. And I know you people want confidence in your employees, and I've had experience of working with clients who interact with European and American clients, so I'm the best person to work with. Yeah. No, I'm not the best person to work with, because clearly I am faking it. So point number two, do not fake an accent. People can figure that out, again, within seconds. When a language is not our primary language, but we love that accent and the style of their speaking, what we do is we partially pick up the style of speaking. Popular things we do to fake an accent are the rolling of R sounds, like sure, and exaggerating the A and making it and or and. These are the only things we restrict ourselves to, because we don't know beyond that. I've seen people fake accents during their sales pitch. In fact, they've done that with me, and it's such a big turn-off. I've seen in business deals people do that. I see that when somebody's introducing themselves for the first time to a stranger, they fake an accent. Why? So when we fake an accent, the larger message we are sending out is that we discard or disown our style of speaking, our style of being. It seems like a disgrace to us. We are embarrassed of it, and we are ready to carelessly adopt something that does not even belong to us. Oh, pronunciation, on the other hand, is a different thing. If we have pronunciation errors or mistakes, we want to fix those and learn them. But putting on an accent that it doesn't make sense, so no. Hey, are you following that plant-based diet by Dr. I am new in the town? No. What? You haven't tried that? No. Did you read that book Sapiens? What? No? What are you doing on this planet? Everybody I know has read that book, come on. Hey, everybody's watching Money Heist. I'm sure you're also watching it. No? How do you pass time? What are you doing in your free time? Creating content. Point number 3. Do not impose your knowledge, interests and likes on other people. They are your interests, not somebody else's interests. So you want to share them with others so that others know that there is something interesting around. But you don't want to judge people because they don't do what's the in thing to do. And that never ever helps us create a good impression. So do not impose your knowledge on others. I'm sure we're all pretty smart out here to pick up these small problems. Hello, you learned people. I'm sure you understand the gravity of the situation. Oh, you also smile. I never knew that side of you. Point number 4. Please avoid soft sarcasm, passive aggression on others. People don't like to be pierced or poked. They like to be told things subtly. There's always a better way to say things to people. There's always a more subtle way to put our points across rather than just plain sarcasm out there, which does get attention. I mean, a lot of us do get laughters for those, but we're certainly not forming a very good impression by just being plain sarcastic with people. The better thing to actually do is be more assertive. In fact, I did upload a video sometime back on how to be assertive, and that's one of the biggest leadership traits. If you haven't checked that video out, I think you should. And that gets me to point number 5, the fundamental point to create a good impression on people, something that should not be missed, cannot be missed. It's like the flour to the cake, and that is being comfortable. Absolutely comfortable in our own skin. How do we be comfortable? Well, to begin with, try to be authentic with who you are, your weaknesses, and of course your strengths. And how do we be authentic? We want to get genuinely tired of pleasing people unnecessarily, to make everybody around us happy, to be in the good books of everyone. If you're not tired of being that person, then it's going to be difficult to be authentic. But if you are exhausted, good. It's time to be authentic. And that does get me to Dr. Brené Brown's work on vulnerability. Do check out some of the stuff. It's brilliant because in a sense what she's saying is shed off all the unnecessary weight around trying to be somebody who you're not. Instead, it's okay to be open and vulnerable about some of the things that don't come naturally to you. I think that's fabulous because it just helps us get closer to ourselves. So sometime back I was working with a client and she told me that every time there's a meeting in the office, she's asked to start the meeting. People very well know that she is an introvert, but still her boss chooses her to start the meeting and she hates it. And the workaround I gave her was this. It's interesting how boss exactly knows who's the most socially awkward person in the room to start the meetings. So here I am again. Good morning everybody, welcome. Yeah, so this is what I asked her to do instead, and it worked. Sometimes it's not in our nature to be someone who others want us to be. And even when we try being that person, there's a lot of effort and hard work we're putting in, and that just exhausts us. So if you find yourself exhausted by doing things that others want you to do, then maybe that's not your personality. Instead, a better thing is to ease off and let people know that, yeah, you're trying, but you're not the best person to be doing that. That does not mean you get complacent and just let your weaknesses flow openly in the room. You don't want to do that. You want to work on your weaknesses, but there are certain things you don't want to work on. So embrace those, be happy with those things, accept them first so that the world around you can accept them, and that way you're always going to form a real impression on people. Okay, so here were the 5 points from me. I have always benefited using these 5 points, and I hope you're going to use them as well. And what is it that you want me to upload next? Do you have any video suggestions for me? I would love to incorporate those. And I'm glad that you stuck around till now, so it's quite reassuring. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care.